Hello mga ka-VA! Good evening. This is your VA Diva Vida. And kahit na wala kaming broadcast ngayong linggo, meron naman kaming video para sa inyo. Nandito ako sa launch ng TechStorm TV. This will be an upcoming channel at Sky Cable. It is channel 221, right? Hi. Mr. Willie Lou just took a picture of me. He is hi.
Hello. Hi everybody.
Hi. This is Mr. Willie Lou. He is a tech celebrity from Singapore, and he will be in our shores, looking for the next unicorn.
The next startup.
The next startup unicorn, and hopefully it will be a Pinoy company.
Yeah.
Yay! So, please look forward to our video in the next few minutes, and you will see what TechStorm and Shark Tank Philippines is all about.
Mainly, the president of Kubo, Philippines. Please, a round of applause. And next to Butch is Winnie Fu from Singapore. He is our newly minted tech celebrity influencer and TV host of TechStorm's new production. And last but the best, I hope, our female panelist and well-known face in the ecosystem, Diane Eustachio, the Executive Director of Idea Space in Philippines. Please applaud for her. Thank you very much. So I think before we get started, what we'll do is we'll do a quick maybe introduction for self-introduction. Tell us a little bit more about what you do, and before we go into the onepreneur, in terms of what you think. We have an extra mic here. Renee?
My friends call me Butch. I had the only public-private sector partnership between the government and the private sector. And Idea Space is one of the partners. JP Morgan, Department of Science and Technology, Department of Trade and Industry. It's called Kubo Innovation Hub because we have an actual Bahay Kubo in our hub, and it's open to everybody. And we're hoping to find that unicorn.
Thank you, Butch. And now for Willie, maybe a quick introduction about yourself.
Hi, my name is Willie. I started as an entrepreneur in technology, and photography was my hobby until one day I decided, hey, what if we can merge it together, and I could project photos from my camera to the screen straight away, and it was a hit, and I started a company. So now photography is my profession, and technology remains my passion.
Thank you. And Diane?
Hi, I'm Diane. I'm actually a dolphin. And dolphins are known to be good friends, and I really want to be a very good friend to the entrepreneurs. And so we started Idea Space 7 years ago, always preparing the entrepreneurs for the Shark Tank, because all that they said out there is real. So that's what we do. We help entrepreneurs prepare for investors, and I think it was very good recall, and in the government that we always joke about the grant-opreneur. He's always going for one grant after another grant, always looking for free money. That's not how it should be. Sorry.
Oh, what do we
I
have
don't
there?
know what I did.
No, I think you're.
Somebody, tried to hit
Yeah, you.
right.
Okay, I think you really woke us up. I think the sound system is. They're trying to get it fixed behind us. Oh, the mic is too close. Okay. But I don't think we can change the position. But I think thanks for that. I think I'm hearing that no inventors. Inventors are probably not a bit of a dangerous breed. And the second is actually grantpreneurs. So say no to grantpreneurs, right? Okay, cool. I think maybe since the mic is being fixed, what we do is, I would like to hear from Butch. Unfortunately, you might have to project your voice a little bit while they get the sound system sorted first. Tell us what you think about the grantpreneur episode, and I hope you have fun and you're enjoying yourself.
Well, I love these guys. They have their game faces on, and the difference is that they're willing to tell you the truth. I mean, they're very honest, they're very frank, and they're very brutal. And it's we've been on several panels together. We always give honest feedback, but that they have that cutting edge. Mark Cuban and Kevin O'Leary, They can be nasty when they're and it's not a big deal. The guy can take it. But I felt sorry for the guy, and and then I found it interesting that he let his girlfriend take the risks with the surfboard.
And Willie?
Yeah, but it's TV. It's a bit more dramatized, and they've got very limited time, and most of them don't have a second chance. But however, in this case, he actually came back a couple of years later, did another pitch, and another guy, Robert, I think, he invested 500,000 for 10%, which is way higher than that, and that was given a second chance. This guy, same one. So we learned. He changed his pitch, and sometimes the market, you're not ready for that yet, and you have got to really prepare yourself for the right pitch for the right time.
Yeah, good lesson.
Would you want to say something to add?
I think that's a great lesson. I never thought that he'd succeed, but the fact that he was able to pivot, as we always say, and change his design, or maybe he made it less expensive, but that's a lot of money to pay for one thing. And that he succeeded, he got the money. I think it's a good lesson for our entrepreneurs over here.
Thank you very much, Butch, Willie, and Diane. So now we're here on Shark Tank launch, and I'm sure there'll be a couple of burning questions that I'm going to be throwing at our panelists today. So as we know, and some of us were aware in the ecosystem, Southeast Asia is a hotbed for investment in capital access today. The last report is showing us that more than $4.24 billion have gone into Southeast Asia funding for tech startups. And this number has accelerated by 52% over the last 3 years. Yeah. So it's a massive jump. So the burning question for me, Butch, you're next to me, you will get the first burning questions. Is that, do you think there's any top factors that contributed to that?
Well, there are a couple, Debbie. First of all, we've got a young population, and the incomes all across the region are increasing. And there's a greater awareness among young people like me that about Google, Facebook, you name the top companies in the world today, and they all started in somebody's garage or in an accelerator just like this. And so we're just looking for that unicorn here in the Philippines, which will bring the whole system up. And so I think Southeast Asia is the place to be, and I think Manila and the Philippines in general is also the place to be.
Yeah, good one. And maybe to Diane, and what do you think about it? What do you think of the top factors?
I agree. Market is a big factor. The other factor also is that the maturity of the entrepreneurs. 7 years ago when we started, Idea Space sources the startups through a competition. So we saw a lot of two-sided markets. I mean, people looking for carpenters and carpenters wanting to get on a platform, things like that. But they really didn't know how to build the solution. So they have the idea, but they don't know how to build the solution. But when people got exposed to Grab and when Uber came, they understood, oh, so that's how a two-sided market works, and that's how the tech works. So they were hiring people here to, build part of the tech, and so I think the ecosystem is growing, and there are more people who know how to build the products themselves. So it's very exciting, and as I said, the market is there, and there's so many pain points that need to be solved. So where there's pain, there's something just out there waiting to. Where there's pain, there's a market.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. So just to sum up, I think what you're saying on the population size, and I think definitely Manila is a possible hotbed for that contributed to capital access. And Diane's take is that the society is starting to be more ready, right, in terms of the readiness to adopt technology, and there's a talent pool whose ability to kind of bring that forward. So I think this is sort of a quick sum up. I think now moving to Willie, specifically as a sort of external person looking into the ecosystem. Tell us a little bit more about what are your top picks for technology in the Philippines startup scene. What are the top sort of your hot favorites here in this part of in this country?
I think the one that stands out. I think the one that stands out more is Revolution Precrafting, the one that builds luxury prefabricated homes. And it stands out among the rest because it's different. And if they think out of the box, they don't limit themselves to a region, they think global. And from a marketing standpoint, it already stands out from the rest of the pages. If they're approaching a VC and everything else looks the same, that at least gets the foot through the door. It may not necessarily give you the money yet, but it gets you the first step there. And it's up to the rest, your preparation, understanding the market for that. And it's not that they're the first. There are a lot of prefabricated homes, but they looked at it and said, hey, there's a segment in the luxury prefabricated homes. And there's always space for two leaders in each segment of the market. So they found an open market and they went for it.
Okay, thank you. I think that's a bit of a surprise, but I think there's always interesting segments as yet to tap into. So I think let's move into another hot question that I have. We just seen 5 sharks on Shark Tank on TechStorm. So the question is, do we have sharks in the Philippines? And of course I'm going to throw that hot question at
Is a
Butch.
dolphin here? And what are you?
So Diane has just said, Butch, what do you think? Do you consider yourself a shark? And of course the second question I have is to follow through on the question of corporate venture capital, which is the rise of CVCs, where we're seeing quite prevalent today. And would you care to comment on the two questions?
Sure. I'm a shark only in the sense that I think it's important for a startup to have a great business model. It's not enough to have a good idea. You've got to have a way to make money, because time and again we get pitched all these different ideas. There are so many issues that need to be solved, but if you can't find a way to make money, you're not sustainable. And it's better to tell somebody, don't quit your day job, or find another line of business, or maybe you need to pivot, or you should join the accelerator programs of Idea Space and other hubs. But I think it's important to tell people the truth, but I'm also hopeful about the future over here, that we're just on the cusp of finding that unicorn which will lift everybody up.
Yeah, I think it's very heartening to see that there is a desire to get Philippines' first unicorn, okay? So we're rooting for you guys in the Philippines. We hope to be able to share that on TechStorm. Okay, and now moving the mic to Diane. You said that you're a dolphin, but still I have to ask you this question, Would you consider yourself as an investment dolphin? Would you also investment shark? And also, would you comment on the CVC model here that's rising, yeah?
Yeah, for the CVC, I think that's is a big driver. What I noticed is very hard for B2C market. It's very hard for startups that are addressing the B2C market here, because it's hard for them to access the capital, and you need a lot more capital when you're doing B2C. And then there's so many manual processes across corporations. So corporations themselves are putting their money in to look for solutions that would help them stay in business. So I noticed that a lot of family corporations are putting their money into some funds to fund startups. So I think it's a great driver for the ecosystem, the corporate venture capital. The other part is me being a dolphin. But in the room with the startups, I'm as bad as a shark. Yeah.
Now she's talking.
Yeah, you need to be tough. You need to really give tough love. And my job as an accelerator manager is to put them in a pressure cooker. You see, I was just sharing one of our teammates this morning, and he was getting tips and so, how do we do this and how do we do that. I said, I love it when I have to make friction. I can cause friction in the team. Sometimes it's not out of wanting to see a team fall apart, but it's because you need to put them in that pressure cooker moment. And that's our job in the accelerator, is to, if they pop and they break down, they're not ready for the world after Idea Space, or the world after an accelerator, because it's even tougher when there's no one there guiding you or holding your hand or helping you through it. So they have to survive the program in Idea Space, the pressure cooker, my eagerness, cost friction.
So now she's giving us an idea what is it like to be in idea space, right? Yeah, but I think we've seen a lot of startups. I think the average failure rate in Silicon Valley is probably in the region of about 95, 98%. So that translates to, I would say, maybe one or less than one out of every 10 startups that has actually started, has pushed through the concept seed stage, has eventually evolved. What are the numbers, just as a side question, I think what are the sort of average numbers that you're seeing in your program today?
Well, in our program, it's about not after 5 years, so that's a test. So when we started Idea Space and we said after 2 years, we said, oh, we still have 70% of the startups still alive. The more experienced VC said, come back to me after 5 years. So, but I'm happy to say that after 6 years from the first batch, there are still 3 of them alive. Okay, but then only 2 are really ready for the Shark Tank. So the maturity of the founders and understanding the whole process of taking someone else's money, that's something we need to work in the Philippine ecosystem. We have a lot of king thinkers more than the rich thinkers. So I think that's exciting to see what effect Shark Tank will have on the entrepreneurs, because they'll realize that I really need to share part of my company. So a lot of so the king thinkers are people who want to own their company. Yeah, they can take someone else's money, but they don't want any advice. So, but that's not the real thing. When someone puts money in your company, they want to put their nose in there. So many of our entrepreneurs are not yet used to that. So we need more rich thinkers who accept someone else's money and are selective about what kind of money. So each of those sharks have something to bring to the table. So they need to, and there are episodes where you see them deciding which of the sharks should I go with, because that shark would maybe, what's her name again, the lady in blue? Yeah, she's good at patenting. So if you have a patent, if something is patentable, I would say she's the shark to go with. Or if you want a philanthropist, or you have the older man, he's the more philanthropist kind of guy. So if yours is a social enterprise or something like that, or then you go with that shark. So when you're a rich thinker, you know what kind of money you're also after. You're not just after the money. You're not just after, okay, I'm sharing my company. You have to also know what type of investor you're going to bring to your company.
I think that's all great points. And what about Puj? I mean, what are your observations? And can we pass the mic over? Thank you very much.
In terms of the startup ecosystem, well, just in the last 2 years, we've seen a lot more exits of a lot more investment by companies, both local and foreign, and venture capital firms in the startups over here. So I'm always hopeful, because I could name quite a few inventors or founders who've managed to start companies, and then they either sell them to local investors here, or they get a big capital infusion, and they're able to grow their companies. And there's a story of this one kid who started a company called Chatbot, and he was finally able to buy his mother a home because he sold the startup to a local firm called Sterling Corporation. And it's those kinds of stories that make me optimistic about the local startup scene. And if we can just challenge the young people that they don't have to work for a big company, they don't have to go abroad in order to be successful. You can start your own company and really zoom to the top of the heap.
Yeah, I think that's really inspiring. I think I hope my content team is taking notes. You know, there could be stories on TechStorm next, right? So yeah, thanks for that. I think we move on to the next question. Again, hot topic on unicorns. Unicorns are billion-dollar valuation companies. So we are again, Southeast Asia is a hotbed for that. I think the last statistics has put us with more than 10. I think the number is probably close to 11 or 12 in Southeast Asia. And we already have about 4 unicorns in Indonesia. There's about 3, I call it 3.5 in Singapore, and quite a huge balance that's coming from other parts of Asia. So the burning question I have for my panelists today is starting from Butch. Again, he's holding the mic. So, Butch, the question is, if we're going to get unicorns in the Philippines, so where, if you have a crystal ball and you're sort of peeking into that, which sector do you think they might come from?
Well, there's a lot of emphasis right now on fintech,
Yeah.
both by the telcos and other big companies. There's a huge population in the Philippines that don't have bank accounts.
Yep.
So the target was to get that money, get the unbanked, and put them into the system and provide a means so that they can spend their money safely. And we also get a lot of remittances. So there's a focus on how do you capture part of that flow. And I think some of the most successful startups are going to be in that space. There's also a growing e-commerce segment, but there's also logistics. But those are the areas which are kind of hot right now.
Okay, so I'm taking notes here. So there's fintech, there's e-commerce and logistics, and maybe we'll move the mic. Diane, do you have anything in a crystal ball to share with us?
I agree with Butch. There's so much opportunity. It's a very fragmented effort. Just looking at our geography, right? So fragmented, and so there's so much opportunity for logistics, and then for, of course, fintech to get more velocity in moving money around.
Maybe Butch?
Based on your experience today, I think anything that helps solve the traffic problem or helps us get from one place to the other quicker, that's going to be a winner.
So in case you're wondering why Butch is making that comment, because I was stuck and I was horribly late for 30 minutes. I've never been late that late, so 30 minutes is pretty long for us. I think just really, I think you spent like half a day in Manila. So I mean, looking at a little bit on what is happening in the country. I think maybe you sort of interface with some of the entrepreneurs, from the region. What do you think about the Philippines scene, in terms of the unicorn potential?
Interesting. I think there's definitely space in fintech, specifically digital currency, not cryptocurrency, digital currency, and more importantly, a global digital currency. Right now, in real story, I lost my wallet. I forgot my wallet in Singapore as I came over here, so I came here without credit cards or cash. And I went, hey, this is fun now. So I tried to figure a way to not borrow any money and figure out how to raise cash to just a handphone. So I did it with a Grab driver. I paid him 500 pesos more. He gave me 500 pesos back. And I just went to Jeanette, who went on PayPal. So I transferred some money on PayPal. She gave me pesos. But there are not that many other ways. It's limited. I did my kind of research last night based on a desperation. There's not too many ways available. And I think there's space for somebody to solve that problem there.
So that's fintech for all of us. So yeah, great job. I think I have a slightly different take to the same question on unicorns. Is that Butch, you are ecosystem advocates. Tell us a little bit of what you think what more could be done. Like maybe 2 areas you think could be critically done to help push for more advocacy, for the startup ecosystem.
Well, a big part of the Philippine population is farmers, and it's a neglected segment. So there's a startup actually from Idea Space called Cropital. It's a platform wherein farmers can get loans, and they're focusing on rice farmers because the payback is quick. And anyone that puts money, he's always fully funded. Whatever farm he puts up on his website, there are always dozens of people who want to lend money. And so far he's done pretty well, and he keeps winning the prizes in all these pitch contests. But we hope he'll be able to scale up and move out. But and again, any sort of transportation app would be helpful to everybody in this room. So I just focus on what the issues are, but the important thing about the unicorn is that it lifts everybody because it provides wealth, not just to the founders, but hopefully to the employees. It gives them stock options, and to the rest of the country. It will lift the economy by quite a bit if we can have $1 billion startup here in the Philippines.
I'm totally with you in terms of how it creates jobs, it creates wealth, not just for the team, but it creates wealth for the members and also the entire sort of community.